What does it mean to have good vocal control, where you can alter parts of the voice? What does it mean? What does it look like if you're an improviser or a role player or an actor, and to be able to control your voice cleanly? Today we're talking about the second pillar of my character voice teachings, my teachings from the big book of character books, character voices. It's a thing I look for in people, and it's how much. What's my nose doing there? It's how much control do you have over your voice, and how can you tell what you need to improve in order to gain more character voice control? Yes. Hello, my name is Alex. I'm a voice coach, and I teach character voices, amongst other aspects of the voice. I don't know what that is. Spider. You don't eat spiders. Terrible. If you're interested in voice, subscribe to this channel, or post or post a comment, ask a question about character voices. I might make a video about it. You never know. So today we're talking about my second pillar of voice, character voices specifically, when I teach them, and that is about control. What is control? What does it mean to have vocal control? So we often think about control in terms of the singing voice. I don't know if I've got a lisp now. The singing voice. When you're teaching singing, I am not a singing teacher, by the way. I am a spoken voice teacher. But there's a Venn diagram. This is a swimming Venn diagram. That there's singing and then there's speaking, and there's a lot of crossover. So maybe someone can sing, sing in a very specific way. This is not Italian. I don't speak Italian. And that requires a certain level of control. That's not the way that I normally sing. Oh, that's not my resting singing. I go, hey man, I'm singing round here normally. So if I want to be able to sing higher registers, then I need to be able to have quite sort of specific control. But that also applies for character voices. And the more understanding of your voice you have, and the mechanisms that make it up, the better control you can have. So control basically just means understanding this, and this, and this, and all the bits that contribute to the voice, and being able to kind of intentionally go, I am going, at the moment, to tweak the breathiness of my voice, and only the breathiness of my voice, and I'm going to remove that breathiness. I'm going to make it very harsh and very no aspiration at all, and then I'm going to add aspiration. So your ability to just change one thing above the voice at a time instead of everything is kind of what control looks like, or means. What does it actually feel like? What does it mean? Like if you see someone on stage, if you're an improviser, or if you're in a role play and you're playing games with people and you're like, that person has good vocal control. What does it look like if someone has good vocal control? Well, it means you might not be able to tell necessarily, but what it means is that they can find different colours within a voice, and they can tweak little bits of it. So instead of having a one-dimensional voice, a lot of voices are one-dimensional. So you might come on in an improv scene, for example, and you might be like, hello there, I'm going to be posh. Maybe this is your posh voice. And then if you get angry, well, I have to say that I'm angry because I don't know how this voice gets angry. And if I want to whisper with this voice, well, maybe it's difficult because I can only have one dimension. The more control, however, that you have with a voice, the more you can vary other aspects of it and still keep a voice. So it allows you to have multi-dimensional characters instead of just sort of kind of caricature voices. That's what it looks like. It looks like being able to explore. What is the difference between control and range? Range. I made a video about range. You can find it. And range is having lots of different voices that you can go into, specific ones. But control is about, as I say, so it's within those voices, how much can you change little aspects of those voices to make either different voices or maybe to find a different qualities of that character. So if you're like tweaking dials, I sort of think of it as. So what I was doing right there, I'm changing like a bit of the quality, a bit of the resonance of that voice. It's the same voice, the rest of my body is in the same place, but this voice is different from this voice, and all I'm changing there is the resonance. I'm changing like the larynx height and a little bit of other stuff as well. So that's the difference between range and control. Range is just lots of different voices. Control is control within little bits of it. What does it feel like when you don't have control? If you're watching this and you want to improve your character voices, maybe you feel like I don't have much vocal control. What it feels like is that everything happens kind of randomly. So you'll notice in these videos that if you watch them, or even in this one, that I sort of change my voice so randomly all the time. It's just voices coming from everywhere. And that's okay. But if I want to be precise, if I'm doing voice acting, for example, I need to be a bit more precise than just throwing a voice out and then going, oh, what was that voice? I can't remember it. So what it feels like is, if you don't have control, rather, is that you just, is that everything happens and you're just like, I don't know how I made that voice. I said a line and it sounded really good when we were in an improv scene. The first line I said sounded really cool and I wanted to keep that voice, but halfway through the scene I lost it and I didn't really know what it was that I was doing to create the voice. So that's what it can feel like if you don't have it. What are we actually controlling? This is a question. What are we actually controlling when we talk about control? And there are a plethora of different things and different qualities of the voice. So I have learned various different voice teaching methods and voice training methods. I'm a bit of a magpie. I take little pieces. I'm like, this training method is cool. How did that work? Right. I'm going to incorporate that into the way I teach. And one of them is a still. This is a really popular method of voice training. And it's like very specifically looks at, okay, your larynx, your height of your larynx. What is it like when you've got the larynx really low down? Or what is it like when it's really, really high up in the throat? And you can move and then change the sound of your voice very specifically just by moving your larynx. That was not a very precise way of doing it. I wouldn't have passed the test doing that, I would tell you. But yeah, you're given like very specific things. Like, what does it mean if I like push my jaw out and push my jaw back again? That's like one quality, or one part of the voice. It's not quality. It's a part of the voice that changes the sound of your voice. And you're like, okay, the jaw at the back sounds like this, and then the jaw at the front sounds like that. For some reason, I've gone into a northern accent. Don't know why. Maybe because the jaw sticking out makes me want to go into a northern accent. You never know. Right, so that's what. So I mean, that's what you're controlling. Like you can go that fine and grained detail, where you're specifically controlling one part of your face, one part of your vocal mechanism. Of course, other things change when you change one. It's a whole system, but you can go that finer grained, or it could be controlling emotion. There are some emotional ways to look at the voice. Maybe that's like primal sound stuff as well. There's different like models where you can go, okay, in this exercise, I am controlling the amount of blue in my voice, or the amount of quizzicalness or green. I don't know. Or you can kind of define it in a lot of different ways. And really, it's that whatever it is you're focusing on, whether it's a quality or a physical part of the voice, you have the ability to choose something and go, okay, this is number 1 of that thing, and this is number 10 of that thing, and this is number 1 of that thing, and this is number 10 of that thing, and this is number 5 of that thing. What am I focusing on there? I focused on my jaw, focused a bit on the accent, but I was like creating this. It was a quality type thing. I hope that's clear. Sometimes I say these things and I'm like, what the deuce have I just said? And then I watch it back and I'm like, well, something was said. I hope it's helpful. Finally, thank God, Alex, finally. How do I improve my control of the voice? Yes, indeed. Good question. Well, I'll tell you. The first step to improve your vocal control is to understand where you are right now. Like, how much control do you have over your voice? And if you're like, I don't know, Alex, I've no idea. Well, I have created something to help you. I've created a free scorecard. Yes, indeedy. So you can go into the description and you can see a link and you can go in there. It's free. You can sign up and it gives you a report. Yes, indeedy. Where you can look at like the different, there are 5 different pillars. Control is just the second one. First one's range. And there are other ones. Like, where are you strong in your character voices? And where are you less strong in your character voices? And what can you do to improve each of those things? So if you're like really low in control, what can you do to improve your control? Right, so fill out that scorecard. What else can you do to improve the control of the voice? Well, I would say that if you were going to go out on your own, into the world and learn things on your own, which of course is great, start to learn some vocal mechanics and start to learn about some of the bits of the voice. And you can start really, really simple. You know, you can start with like the lips. The lips are really obvious. You can see them and you can move them around. And you can go, oh, the lips. I can change how my lips are moving. I can change like the tenseness of my lips. Tenseness. That is not a word, Alex. Tenseness is not in a dictionary. And start like playing around with specific things and go, okay, if I've got like really floppy lips and that's number 0, or now I've got really tense lips, the back of my neck's tense, then that's number 10. Like, what does number 5 of that do? And then what does it do to the voices that I'm creating? So start to be quite sort of technical about how you can change your voice and just sort of go out and make experiments, which is what I do in the Voice Lab program that I run, is to set experiments for people. But anyway, that is something you can do. And I think the easiest way is to fill out the scorecard, and then it'll tell you some sort of specific things that you can look at, actually. That is the video on control. Have a brilliantly out of control day, as I appear to be having today.